Yes. And we're here with the second game of today, which is the big one. I think it's the tie of the round, to be honest with you. If you're looking at two heavyweights with star players in both teams, I think it's this one, Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. I think it's going to flatter to deceive. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think it's going to be one of those games that we look at and we're going to be like, I mean, it didn't really live up to what we thought it was going to, and blah blah blah. Um, but it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. Vincent Company versus Arbeloa, two defenders going up against each other, which is actually quite hilarious when you think about it. But you're talking about some star names, on both sides, to be honest with you, in regards to the players who may potentially play. So let's take a look at a predicted lineup for this game. I mean, you look all over the pitch, you got Manuel Neuer, absolute legend. Joshua Kimmich, again, a legend, especially for Bayern Munich, but also just in the game. I feel Olise, Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Gnabry, Mbappe, Vinícius Jr, Valverde, in there as well. So, yeah, got some big names, man. Some really, really big names, I feel, in a game like this. But also, you're talking about two teams, I think, aren't Bayern Munich second or level with Liverpool in regards to Champions Leagues, and then obviously got the Kings of Europe themselves. But yeah, this tie, I think I saw something actually. To be fair, I saw something from Arturo Vidal, and he was talking about this match specifically, and he spoke about, listen, look, he said if the game effectively, I'm not verbatim, but effectively, if Bayern were to win this, like if Bayern are going to win this game, and if the game is a fair game and something crazy or mysterious effectively doesn't happen, Bayern should win this game, which I agree. I think Bayern are the better team. They're the better coach team. Yeah, so I feel that Bayern should be winning this tie completely. I think they are better than Real Madrid at this moment in time. But we know with Real Madrid, man, when things need to be done, they're done. Don't know what it is, not calling out anything, but yeah, it just seems a bit weird. That's all I'm saying. But listen, Madrid are Madrid. You can call it mentality if you want to call it that. That's totally up to you. But listen, it is what it is. Interestingly, from Madrid though, you can see obviously they've got here like lined up in like a 4-4-2. Obviously, I would say Vinícius Jr. He kind of floats. I'll be honest with you. He seems to drift out to that left-hand side, but then sometimes he'll be just in behind Kylian Mbappe, almost playing as a front two, or he works off of a Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, Mbappe more up top, but again, Mbappe as well will also float out to that left-hand side. So they do. I guess I would say they have that freedom to be able to go and do that. So that will be interesting to see whether they will try and continue that in a game like this against such a disciplined side like a Vincent Company's Bayern Munich. Again, a couple injuries, to be fair. To be fair as well, actually, I think also Harry Kane potentially looking like he might be a doubt for the game. Obviously, Ferland Mendy, Courtois, Rodrigo all out for this game. So it's going to be interesting to see from a Madrid point. First of all, if this is the team that they start, you can see obviously Petrarch in the middle there. Camavinga, is he injured actually? To be fair, I'm not seeing his name here. I don't know what's going on with Camavinga. That's actually an interesting one because he's just been not the same player. And there's been a lot of talk about Camavinga in the last couple of days that I've seen in regards to him potentially leaving Real Madrid. But in this game, I look at Bayern, right? And you look at Bayern. I think to myself, interest. Obviously, Lima's over there playing at left back. There, they've got him here. Obviously, not his position, but obviously injuries and stuff like that. He's obviously doing a job. Fullback areas will be, I think, where Madrid potentially could get joy. You don't really want, forget even Trent for a second. You don't really even want Valverde or Mbappe running those channels, or Vinícius Jr. or Ardagula picking up space potentially between Atar and Lima. Don't really want that. You really, really don't. You don't want them kind of players finding space or getting the run on these guys because I just don't think it works for Bayern Munich if that was to happen. But Bayern Munich are so disciplined. They're so disciplined, man. Like I know they've scored a lot of goals this season, but when I've watched them play, I've watched them maybe about 5, 6 times this season. They're just fluid and everything is it just seems so easy. Now, obviously, I know people Farmers League, but whatever. But even in the Champions League, I've watched them and I feel like it's just you saw them absolutely slaughter Atalanta, and I don't even think they even were at like 40% in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like it just felt like it was just so easy, and I mean, you look at the attack, and we're not even talking about having Musiala, still out there as well. So let's say he does start or doesn't start, regardless. You're talking about some like real ballers this season, some real like, whew, you know what I'm saying? This is real talent that we're watching on display. And then obviously you got Kane versus Mbappe. Who's been the better striker? I would argue Kane this season, but Mbappe is Mbappe. Talking about a World Cup winner. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a bad boy up front, but Kane is also a bad boy. So I feel like that's going to be quite interesting. But I do think the battle for both teams, I'm more looking at, I know people say, yeah, the battles in midfield. And yes, I can potentially agree with that. I don't feel like it's, if I had to look at it on paper, I would say, yeah, Pavlovic versus, and Kimmich versus Pitcharch and Tchouaméni, if that is the two, for example. I would say, yeah, Pavlovic and Kimmich should win that battle. But there's nothing to suggest that Tchouaméni and Pitcharch won't be able to do that. Valverde obviously is going to provide quite a lot of width, I feel, in this game. Whether that then means that Trent Alexander-Arnold then comes into midfield. But I do have to admit, Arbeloa has got more structure, I feel, with the team. The team seemed to me, and again, I don't watch Madrid all the time, but I've watched them a fair amount, and especially since Xabi Alonso obviously took over, the team seemed happier playing this way than they did under Xabi Alonso. For whatever reason. Don't know why. Might just be one of those kind of things. But I do feel like the team seem happier playing in this kind of style of football. It's not pretty. I don't feel like it's enjoyable, but do they really care? No, not when you've got star players around the pitch who can, turn it on and off like a tap. So I think it's just one of those. And I think with a game like this, I just think they just need to be switched on, to be honest with you. Players like Luis Diaz up against Trent, that's going to be so funny to former players of Liverpool going up against each other. Trent will know what Diaz is about, but Diaz will know what Trent is about. Obviously, they might be doing potentially different jobs in their teams now, but they'll know what each other's about. They'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Can Luis Diaz exploit Trent? Will Trent know, okay, because Diaz knows what I'm about, I'm going to need to be on, be on 100. He needs to be putting in them kind of performances he did against Ronaldo all those years ago in the Champions League final for Liverpool in his first Champions League final. He's going to probably need to put on one of them kind of performances. But I'm going to say Valverde back there as well, going to potentially obviously help him out. Mbappe and Vinícius are always a funny one because, I mean, ultra talented, some of the two of the best players in world football. But sometimes I just feel like they just hinder systems. Now, in the system, obviously, under Arbeloa, I don't feel like they've been hindering. I feel like because they've almost just been allowed to say, you two go and do your thing, and we'll have the two banks of four here, and then we can just play in. And like I say, Arda Güler, obviously then dropping into space to then be able to connect the midfield to the attack. Tchouaméni obviously trying to control that midfield area there. Valverde obviously providing that width, that energy, then sometimes coming into midfield. Trent obviously just being Trent, to be honest with you. And then you've got that kind of stable Militao and Rudiger, who are just going to be solid at the back there and who are just not going to take any, BS from anybody. It can work. And I guess at this stage of the season, that's all it really matters is we just need this to work, moving forward. But like I say, Olise on that side, coming up against Fran Garcia and Güler, that's going to be interesting. They're going to need to really put in some work. But I feel like maybe Vinícius might even turn into one of, because Vinícius will have weird games where he'll do everything. He'll help out. He tracks back. He's tackling. He's almost at left back. He might be one of those kind of games. And I feel like he's going to need to have potentially, I feel like it's going to need to be Mbappe just here and maybe counter-attacking-ish kind of football moving forward. But it should be a good game. Like, I feel like both teams can get at each other. I really do. I think Vincent Kompany just don't overthink it. That's I guess my me giving him advice. Can you imagine? But that would be my advice: is just don't overthink it. I don't think you need to. I feel like you'll be able to kind of do the business if you just play the way that you've kind of been playing. Obviously, understanding the threats, of a team like Real Madrid. Inside here, Madrid have won all 3 Champions League home matches this season, scoring 11 goals. Madrid scored 31 goals in the last 10 home games. Bellingham has played just a few minutes in the last 9 weeks after hamstring. I mean, he's been, after that wonder season in his first season, he is just, it's been awful. Madrid scored 5 and conceded just 1. in 2 Champions League legs against Man City. Bayern reached 100 Bundesliga goals in just 28 matches, the fastest any team has done so. They've scored 40 goals during their current 13-match unbeaten run. Ridiculous. I mean, it's more than 3 goals a game. Bayern scored 15 goals in 4 Champions League matches this season, conceding just 3. Kane has 31 Bundesliga goals this season, leading the European Golden Boot race. All things point to I would say, a Bayern Munich victory, even away at the Bernabeu, but it's the Bernabeu. Yeah, it's just one of them kind of stadiums, man. I'm always wary when teams come there and they need a victory. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. I know Madrid have obviously been knocked out in recent times, but yeah, it's just one of those. But I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna say 4-2 Bayern. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm gonna say 4-2 Bayern. I'm gonna go over 4-2 Bayern. I think they've got enough in their team and off the bench to be able to hurt a Bayern Munich, to be honest with you. And I think they're good enough to show everybody. And I think if they get that kind of victory away at the Bernabeu, yeah, I think it starts. You start looking at them. I mean, you're already looking at them as one of the favorites, right? But you start looking at them now thinking, oh, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. Gone to the Bernabeu and absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. All right, cool. Like, we take you seriously. All right, okay. So, yeah, that's my prediction for the game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. I think I said at the beginning that these kind of games, they flatter to deceive and stuff. I'm hoping it should be a good game. I feel like Company will try and make it a good kind of game just in terms of the way that Bayern Munich play anyway. It'll be more Real Madrid who try to stink it up. But if they try to go lever for lever, you know what I'm saying? Machine for machine. Yeah, that's when it starts to get a little bit sticky, I feel, for Real Madrid. So, yeah, I'm going to go Bayern 4-2. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Mbappe versus Kane. Who's going to come out on top? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys real soon.